He comes home from work, walks through the door, and sees his wife sitting right there on the couch. But the house still feels empty. They might talk a little about the bills, what the kids did at school, but the space between them feels miles wide. He feels less like a husband and more like a roommate, less like a partner and more like a provider. If that feeling is familiar, you're not imagining things. It's a silent struggle that countless men are facing. It's the deep, isolating loneliness that hits, not when you're by yourself, but when you're with the one person you're supposed to be most connected to. In this video, we're going to break down why this happens, the devastating impact it can have, and most importantly, what you can do to rebuild that connection before it's too late. First, let's get one thing straight. This isn't about blame. It's not about pointing fingers. It's about understanding a dynamic that can creep into a marriage so slowly you don't even see it coming until you feel like you're drowning. It usually starts with the small things, conversations that never go deeper than logistics. The "how was your day" that gets a one-word answer, physical touch that becomes a quick, absent-minded peck on the cheek. This emotional disconnect is the number one driver of loneliness in marriage. It's what happens when partners stop sharing their real fears, their true needs, and their inner worlds with each other. The daily grind of work, kids, and financial stress can suck the life out of a partnership, leaving nothing left for the roles of husband and wife. The focus shifts to being a dad or a provider, and the romantic bond that started everything gets put on the back burner, leaving the relationship feeling hollow. For a lot of men, this is made worse by that unspoken pressure to be the strong and silent type. Society often teaches men to be self-reliant, to solve their own problems, and to never admit they're struggling. So while women are often more comfortable asking for and giving emotional support, many men feel like they can't talk about what's really going on inside. This creates a painful paradox. The one person he wants to connect with most, his wife, becomes the one person he feels he can't be vulnerable with. So, he retreats. He buries himself in work, in hobbies, in the garage, or in front of a screen. It's not that he doesn't care. It's that he has no idea how to bridge the gap that's grown between them. The house is full, but he feels completely and utterly alone. Living in this state of quiet desperation does more than just make you unhappy. It has real, measurable consequences for your health, your well-being, and the future of your marriage. A poor quality marriage, especially one filled with conflict and emotional distance, can completely erase the health benefits that are normally associated with being married. Research shows that chronic loneliness and stressful marital interactions are linked to serious physical health problems. We're talking about an increased risk for cardiovascular disease, higher blood pressure, chronic inflammation, and even a higher mortality risk. Think about that for a second. The stress of feeling disconnected in your own home can literally shorten your life. This isn't just about feeling sad. It's your body having a physical reaction to a deep, unmet need for connection. Mentally, the toll is just as heavy, creating a direct line to anxiety, emotional exhaustion, and depression. Men who tend to rely almost exclusively on their spouse for emotional support are at a much higher risk of isolation when that connection breaks down. Now, it's important to add some context here. There's been a lot of talk about a male loneliness epidemic, but recent data from the Pew Research Center shows the reality is more complex. Men and women actually report feeling lonely at very similar rates, with about 16% of men and 15% of women saying they feel lonely all or most of the time. The real difference isn't if men feel lonely, but how they handle it. Women are generally more likely to reach out to a wider network, friends, mothers, or other family, for emotional support. Men, on the other hand, tend to have smaller support networks and are less likely to use them. This becomes a massive problem when the primary source of support, the marriage, is also the source of the pain. It's like being stranded on a desert island with a broken radio. Compounding this is a broader trend. Marriage rates have been falling for decades. Recent projections estimate that a third of today's young adults may never get married at all. For those who are married, this just raises the stakes. A strong, connected marriage is one of the most powerful shields against loneliness in modern life. When that shield cracks, the loneliness can feel absolute. So if you're sitting there right now, nodding along and feeling that pit in your stomach, I want you to know this is not the end of the story. Recognizing the problem is the first and most powerful step you can take. Before we get into the solutions you can start using today, if this is hitting home for you, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're here to give you the tools to build a stronger relationship and a more fulfilling life, and you won't want to miss what's next. All right, so how do you start to fix a problem that feels so big and deeply rooted? It's not about one single grand gesture. It's about a series of small intentional steps that rebuild that bridge between you and your wife, brick by brick. And it has to start with you. Step 1. Relearn how to communicate. I know, it sounds cliché, but poor communication is where the disconnection begins. But improving communication doesn't just mean talking more. It means changing how you talk, and more importantly, how you listen. Start by trying to discuss feelings and needs openly, without blame. For example, instead of saying, "You never ask about my day," try framing it as an I statement. I feel disconnected when we don't get a chance to talk about our days. It's a subtle shift, but it moves the focus from an accusation to a personal feeling. Often, women want to feel heard and understood, while men tend to jump straight to problem solving. When your wife talks about something stressful, your first instinct might be to offer a solution. Fight that urge. Instead, just listen. Validate her feelings by saying things like, "That sounds really frustrating," or "I get why you would feel that way." Creating that safety for her to be heard will eventually create more safety for you to be heard too. Step 2. Intentionally prioritize couple time. Life gets busy, routines take over. You have to break that cycle. You can't let your relationship run on autopilot and expect it to thrive. This means scheduling intentional, non-negotiable time together, where you aren't just parents or household managers, but partners. This doesn't have to be a fancy date night every week. It can be 20 minutes after the kids are in bed with no phones, where you just talk. It can be a walk on a Saturday morning, just the two of you. The key is that it's planned, protected time dedicated only to your connection. That deliberate effort sends a powerful message. You are my priority. Step 3. The counterintuitive move. Build your own fulfillment. This might sound backward, but one of the biggest strains on a marriage is when one or both partners rely entirely on the other for their happiness and social life. If your wife is your only friend, your only confidant, and your only source of support, you're putting an impossible amount of pressure on one person and one relationship. You need to diversify your support system, reconnect with old friends, find a hobby that gets you out of the house and around other people, join a gym, a club, or a local group. Building your own social network does two things. First, it gives you other outlets for support, so you're not bringing all of your stress back into the marriage. Second, it makes you a more interesting and fulfilled person, which makes you a more attractive and engaging partner. When you have your own life, you have more to bring back to the relationship. Step 4. Know when to ask for directions. There is zero shame in seeking professional help. You wouldn't try to rewire your house without an electrician, so why try to fix the most complex relationship in your life without any guidance? Marital counseling isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign that you value your relationship enough to invest in the skills to make it work. A therapist can act as a neutral translator, helping you both understand what the other person is really saying and needing. They can teach you healthier ways to handle conflict and break negative patterns that you might have been stuck in for years. Data shows that men are less likely than women to seek help from a mental health professional, but taking that step is an act of profound strength, not weakness. Feeling lonely in your own marriage is one of the most painful experiences a man can go through. It's a quiet crisis that happens behind closed doors, leaving you feeling invisible and disconnected. But it does not have to be your permanent reality. This isn't about a quick fix. It's about making a conscious decision to turn towards your partner instead of away. It's about taking the initiative to communicate differently, to prioritize your connection, to build your own strength, and to ask for help when you need it. You have the power to change this dynamic. The journey back to connection starts with one simple, courageous choice: the choice to try. If you've ever felt this way, or if you have a strategy that helped you reconnect in your own relationship, share it in the comments below. Your story could be exactly what someone else needs to hear today. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on building a life and a relationship you can truly be proud of. Alpha Lens Mindset here. Thank you for watching. Stay sharp.